Hey everybody, welcome back. It is week 3. Time is flying. We're like what, a fifth of the way through the semester. Time actually isn't flying this January, which is very interesting. It is almost the end of January though, so I guess, six of one, half dozen of the other. Um, I am looking forward to reading all of your experience and interest inventories this week. I will be getting those back to you as soon as possible. And remember, this is the first of many assignments that once you get my grade and my feedback, you can actually revise and turn back in. We'll talk more about that once the grades are actually back. So let's take a look at what we're doing this week because the revisions on that will not be due until 2 weeks. So anyway, this week in the schedule, you will notice that we are looking at how to get your feedback from me. And we're also going to be reading and learning about social media and professional language, along with business writing formats, including letters, memos, and thoughts on how to be professional in emails and text messages. So you do have some reading from our online textbook this week, as well as some other materials in the modules. In terms of what's due this week, you're going to be turning in the professional writing portfolio. So it'll be set up very much like the experience and interest inventory in terms of the cover page, but you will have just individual things in it. They will be business formatted. So they will be a little bit possibly different from the experience and interest inventory, where you had visuals and you had spacing things and whatever. This time you are practicing specific formats for professional writing pieces. So let's go ahead and look at the module. You may also have noticed, if you have not looked, that week 5 is now open. So those are opening up as I finish everything in them. So if you wanted to go and look ahead, you certainly can. We, of course, are in week 3. So let's take a look first at the overview and materials. As I mentioned, you are going to be looking at the textbook. You're going to be reading a chapter on ethical and legal obligations, writing collaboratively, and social media. And then there's also various kinds of business writing, and the page ranges are all there. So you can access the textbook here and then proceed through there. You also will be viewing a video walkthrough on how to locate and use your grade feedback. That's a video from me, and a fun video on social media and professionalism. We have a link to materials on business letter basics and workplace communication. So make sure you take a look at all of those before attempting the 2 assignments. In terms of the assignments this week, the first one, of course, is a discussion board. Just like the last time with the introduction, you have this whole week to post your own response. And then within another week, you'll need to respond to your classmates' posts. So remember, our due dates are always your own. The due date that's posted is always your own response to the prompt. So in this week, we're going to be thinking about social media and how it affects our lives, including professional lives, because of course that's what we're here to talk about. There are some questions to kind of guide your post, but do remember that these should be written in essay form. The introductory one was a little bit more loose, but with these, I do want to see a clear introduction, body, and conclusion. It doesn't have to be exactly 5 paragraphs, but a 5-paragraph essay format makes sense. And so remember, the rubric does give you points for that, along with proper grammar and punctuation. So you don't have to, but a lot of people do prefer to write their responses to their discussion board in Word so they can save them and spend some extra time with them. But do remember that when you are ready to post on the actual discussion board, don't use an attachment. Actually copy and paste that text directly into the box by clicking on reply. And then if you had something in your clipboard, you would just copy and paste it there. You can also, of course, write your whole presentation, your whole response to the prompt right here in the box. There are all kinds of things you can do if you want to change the font, if you want to change whatever, if you need to use bullets, you can. But essentially, most of our posts here will be a simple essay. If you do utilize any sources, like if you look anything up online and that sort of stuff, that is certainly not required for these. But if you do, make sure you include a reference list at the end, and in-text citations where needed. It's good practice, as well as, of course, good scholarship. Please do your own discussion board post. A lot of people have been tempted lately into running these questions through AI, such as ChatGPT. I don't have a problem with you utilizing it as a means of helping you generate ideas, but you need to write your own posts. And it's very clear when ChatGPT has written something. So keep that in mind. It is not the shortcut that you would want it to be. So please do use your own thoughts when and words when writing these. Now, if you want to use something like ChatGPT to help you outline your little essay, that can be really helpful. I use it for stuff like that all the time. So I'm not a opponent of using the AI websites, but when it comes to writing it, make sure that you write your own, of course. The other assignment this week, which of course you will definitely need to be writing your own materials that go in it, is the professional writing portfolio. So this again is going to look very much like the assignment that you did last week. You will have a cover page. I also am going to encourage you to use the headings in Word to mark each item, because that will allow you to do a table of contents, and I'll show you how to do that really quick. In terms of the items that are going to be included in this portfolio, the first one is going to be a memorandum. And memos have very specific formats, so you want to follow the format of a memorandum. Part of your job on this is to learn how to do these things. So I'm not going to show you every one of these formats. You will be reading about them in our textbook, and of course you can do additional searching to help you with those. But the first item is going to be a memo. You can use a real situation, or you can make something up. Like not everybody has a job right now. So having a current workplace may not be a real thing for you, but you can certainly make up a scenario. Memos are used within a workplace. They are not used to reach out to people that you're not already affiliated with. So if you do not have a current workplace, you can use a past job, make one up, but it definitely needs to be internal to a workplace, and it needs to deal with a topic that somebody in a workplace might bring forward. So I've got some examples here to kind of help you think about that. I'm not going to read those to you. You can certainly read through them. So if you don't have a real life situation that you can use, these might be helpful. The next item is going to be an email to your boss. This can, again, be real or imagined, in which you do one of the following. So this would be formatted like an email. You don't have to do the like to, from, and everything. This could just be the text of the email, but it should be done in a professional manner, as you hopefully would if you were writing an email to your boss. And again, there's some prompts there that you can use to help you. The next item is a text message. Now, text messages, of course, would not typically be written out in Microsoft Word. I understand that. If you want to use a real text, you could, and then you could use a screenshot to share it. but you can just write out the text as you would use it. So I've got some prompts here for you. You could do something related to any one of these in your text message. Next, we have business letters. We've got 2 of them total. In the first one, you're going to choose an issue that you would like to see addressed at Lake Sumter or your current job. Do the research needed to figure out to whom this letter should be addressed. In other words, please do not just assume you should go straight to the college president or to the CEO of your company. You want to address the letter to the person who could actually solve the problem. In the letter, you will need to define the problem and suggest solutions. And then all conventions of business letters need to be followed. So addresses, dates, how to open it, the salutation, how to put the paragraphs, the closing, all of those things need to be followed. And of course, if you need to research beyond what's in the course, you can do so. There are some really weird business letter looking things online. So make sure you're using our course materials first and foremost. The second business letter needs to be about an issue that you would like to see addressed in your neighborhood, city, or the state of Florida. Do the research needed, again, to figure out to whom you should address it. Do not just write automatically to the governor or to a mayor of a town. It could be a chief of police. It could be, the street supervisor, whatever. But it needs to be addressed to a real specific person that you find through research. Same setup, you'll define the problem, suggest solutions, and again, all business letter formatting and content needs to be followed. Finally, you're going to make 2 social media posts. One is about accepting a new job and something that you might place on your LinkedIn profile. It should be 1 paragraph and it would be appropriate for a professional forum. And then finally, the last social media post, you're participating in a community service event and want to send out a professional message about it. So this could be something you might post to LinkedIn or to your Facebook or Instagram, whatever. Please specify the platform that you that you would use it on. And of course, include the text. You're welcome to include visuals with those social media posts if you need to, or you want to. Once you get the feedback, same thing we're doing with the one that you turned in this past week. You'll be able to do some revision to raise it by 10 points. But of course, that's a ways away yet. So, but that's what you're going to be turning in this week. While I'm thinking about it, let me just quickly show you a little bit about the use of headings so that you can get the table of contents. All right. So we're in Word. Nope, I'm not in Word yet. Hold on. I need to share again. Okay, now we're in Microsoft Word. So again, it's still going to be an APA document. So we're going to double space and do all those wonderful things. I'm going to change this to Times New Roman. I am very, very angry about the update. Oh, Microsoft Word, you are special. All right, so we're going to center the title and we're going to hit enter a couple of times. I like write professionally. And then, of course, the name, the department at Lake Sumter State College. Oops, can't write. The course, the instructor, and the date. I'm going to use today's date. January 21, 2024. All right, so then we're going to insert a page break. and we are going to, we are not going to have the repeated title because this is where the stuff will begin. But let me show you how to use those headings and insert then a table of contents. So we're going to, we're going to go back to the home screen, and I want to put heading 1. This is going to be memorandum. And then I'm going to do it on this page. I'm going to set it up like a memo, and I will give you a couple of hints. Memorandum, start with memorandum at the top. We're going to go again. Oh, this irritates me. This stupid, I swear, Microsoft people, every time they come up with an update, none of it makes any sense. But it's gonna be fine. So we've got a 2-line, got a from line. You'll notice these are single spaced. We've got a regarding line, and we've got dates. And then we have the text. Now, I'm not gonna, with business letters and with memorandum, I'm gonna give you a little hint. We typically have single space paragraphs with an extra line in between them, and we do not use the traditional paragraph indent. So that's what that would look like. We're going to insert a page break, and we would have, what would be next? Oh, the email. So let's go back and do another heading. Professional email. And again, with this one, you can just put the text. Although, good reminder, little hint for those of you who are reading and listening. When you are writing professional email, you do address it to a person. Again, the stupid font. I bet there's a way I can change that. And then you would actually sign it. Okay, so I'm not going to do the rest of them, but that's how you'll set every one of them up. You'll have the professional email, you'll have the header. So then what happens, and this is really a cool thing, we're going to be using this again later. I'm going to hit enter here and go right above here. I'm going to use the, where's it at? The references tab, table of contents, and I'm just going to use the first one. Now, I don't want the very first thing to start on that page, so I will one more time do a page break. There we go. All right, so what happens then is that these are updated automatically. So if this was on page 6, it would show page 6. It's pretty cool because you don't have to do the paging yourself. And it will update if you like make changes and you want to update it. If you click on it, you can do update table or yeah, update table, and it'll ask you if you want to do the whole table. I always say the whole table. So there you go. That's what it looks like. And it will do the paging automatically for you. You are not, however, going to necessarily have a page number on this one, although we could go ahead and include the page number just like we normally would in an APA document. You may or may not have a table of contents. You will have a table of contents. You may or may not have a references page. If you do research, you'll have a references page. And you would not necessarily have any in-text citations, but like if you use a resource to figure out who to address something to, you can just include a reference list and have those, like whatever website you looked at, have those listed. Okay. I will save this document, and I will also put this in the announcement. It is by no means complete, but at least it is a start for the formatting. Professional portfolio sample, and I'll attach that. All right, guys, that's it for this week. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I will see you back here next week for the next walkthrough.